Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Sportsman's Warehouse and the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And you know that when we talk this CWD no longer needs to be told what it actually stands for because everybody's got it memorized out there, but it is chronic wasting disease, which I'm told has been around since the 60s, but it has created a buzz in not only our area, Arkansas, Mississippi, West Tennessee, but other things.
It didn't even start in this area.
Well, we don't know.
They don't think so.
No,
based on a lot of the stuff I've read.
Well, we know where it has been located.
Yeah,
and the hot spots in West Tennessee, of course, are Fayette, Hardeman. Shelby is now part of that.
Yeah, the hot spots,
positive.
they find one or two.
Yeah, and one of the hot spots, speaking of hot spots, is a place that's near and dear to my heart, and that's Ames Plantation, right out of LaGrange, Tennessee, over there.
Beautiful.
I made the mistake one time of saying it's right off Buford Ellington Boulevard. And I was told there are no boulevards on Ames Plantation.
That's right.
I think the guy coming up next is the one that told me that. But Dr. Allan Houston, one of my good friends from out at Ames Plantation, and the chief of wildlife forestry and whatever it might be, and the Ames Plantation Hunt Club. Good morning, Allan.
Good morning to you.
All right, we're ready. All right, so now I've looked at the figures as of through Wednesday. Yes, we are down. Several thousand from last year. Yes, we are down in Fayette and Hardeman County, but let's talk about this thing as where we are now is, the panic, whatever it might be, the strategies involved in it. Talk about what you think has gone on during this deer season.
Well, I can tell you a little bit about what's going on based on my guys. Our club members are down. We went from 75 to 55, and some of those guys have quit hunting entirely. Some have moved somewhere else. And then we normally have a little attrition.
Yeah.
But we've had some nice join. Typically, when CWD hits, some people do quit hunting, but about half of them come back. They realize how much they loved it to begin with, and
yes.
So they do come back. Numbers being down, well, that's part of it. People also are reluctant to shoot one because, well, they're a little afraid of it. And two, getting results back has taken a long time.
Yeah.
And TWRA is aware of it, and they know what the problems are. And I think there's some good discussion going on regarding getting some testing facilities inside the state and trying to make that whole process go quicker. So it's all new. It's all scary.
And you have how many CWD deer have been checked in at your place?
Oh yeah, we've collected 58 deer so far, which is way down, less than I would like to see.
How many CWDs have you found?
Well, we haven't got results back on all of them. The results we've gotten back have been on 25 deer.
Okay.
And 6 of those were positive. So
6?
That's a 20% rate.
Yeah, 6 out of 25. Okay. All right.
6 out of 31.
6 out of 31. Yeah, okay. All right. So if you looked at these things, are we talking about age group wise of those 6 positive? What were the age of those deers?
4 of them were bucks. And I think we had some 3.5s, and let's see, of the 6, 4 were bucks, and
okay.
We had 2 3.5 animals, 2 3.5-year-old animals, 1 4.5, and 1 5.5. So it makes sense. Typically, you'd expect the older animals,
to
more likely to be exposed, and the older bucks particularly, because they have all kinds of nasty things they do. They would expose them.
Yeah, and now. And the thing about being afraid to eat it, have you heard that from your club members? I mean, I don't want to eat any of them because they may have CWD.
Well, it's hard to get your test results back, and so it's a long time of the waiting.
How long?
Some of the processors even had to shut down because they couldn't take anymore. As far as eating them, yes. You run the gamut from people who say, nobody's ever gotten sick, I'm not scared, to people who are just scared to death even after the test results. Most of us are in the middle.
Okay.
Get in there, get it back, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah. Well, I know you're one of the areas, of course, Mississippi came first, and then you're just right across the border from Mississippi. Do you think it's been on Ames for a long time? We just didn't know it, if these deer are that old?
Well, here's what I think, Larry. Wherever it started close by.
Okay.
In this core area, it started somewhere inside that core area, and to have the infection rate that we have now, and see, the numbers aren't in yet.
No, I know it.
We'll see. It could be 20, it could be 30. I'm talking about within that core area.
Yeah.
It could be 15. We don't know yet. But if it's in that 20% range, I'm going to guess it's been here in the regionally inside that core area for 10 years. Just my guess.
That's a guess. Well, that's all we can do right now because I know my previous deer processor closed this year. Did not partake in the and so I've moved on to another gentleman who has been overwhelmed with deer that he has gotten, and that's Dave's Deer Processing out of Galloway there, and he's his boost is up because he's getting some runoff, and some of the other processors. It really trickles down, as I've said, Alan, that this affects not just the processors; it affects the mom and pop sausage and biscuits and gas. If these people aren't hunting, they're not spending money.
Well, most of the mom and pops will tell you that they depend on the camouflage crowd. And anything that turns them, even if they don't hunt as much. And some of our guys, for example, just aren't coming as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts them, and there's a huge economic deal.
Yeah.
It's not just the deer being sick, and some people underestimate that too. They say, "Oh, gee, wow, it didn't hurt them out west." Well, it did hurt them out west, and it's a whole lot different comparing 60 deer per square mile and say maybe 10 or 15 deer per square mile out there.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to compare ducks with oranges and come up with not a good comparison. Need to be really careful when we think about those kinds of things.
But they are being thought, and that's the thing about it. You can ask the person who doesn't even hunt. They know what CWD is because that's all they've read about in the meetings and everything. And of course, TWRA is a sponsor of this show, and they have been diligent about their work, and you know that too. But the process taking so much time is the drawback here, and also we've had discussions about what to do with the animals. I mean, where do you push them in the dirt or whatever it might be? But there's so many long-term effects here that. And just seeing your numbers down 20 people from last year, that's an economic impact on the work you guys do.
Ooh, big time. And then the uncertainty.
Yes.
What does next year hold? Because we're going to have to do it 20% if that's what it holds.
Yeah.
It's not business as usual anymore, managing this herd. It's sit on them. It's look very strongly at killing the yearlings. It's you might even have to resort to things as severe as coming in and sharpshooting, because places, for example, in Michigan, where they really did these things diligently, and then there's something called CWD fatigue, where you finally, hey, gee, I'm just tired of this.
Yeah.
And then you don't do it anymore, and then boom, it blows up.
Yeah.
And, we're going to have to pay real attention now to our herd, but. Once I get the data, once I know what's going on, then you can tell your hunters, guys, here it is, and you're going to have to assume instead of a recreational visitor, and that's very hard to turn the corner and become more of a manager. I don't know what will happen. I don't.
Well, if you followed it closely, and there's no shortcut in this thing, right? I mean, right now it's a time-consuming effort. Because once you get your deer, then you've got to determine, well, am I going to take that to the processor? Am I going to do this myself? Am I going to not even turn it in and things along that line? We don't have a clue on that either.
Well, I have, if they can get the turnaround, and TWA now, you understand, they're aware of this. This is something.
Oh, yeah,
and that they're working to rectify. But what I have also suggested is to turn some of this into the private sector. It's a fair business opportunity, maybe, where you could take it to a person who is set up to handle. All they handle is storage of your deer. They get your deer in the front end, they skin it, they get the results and tell you, hey, Larry, it's negative, come get your deer, or, hey, Larry, it's positive, I will take care of it. Now, that prion is the thing.
That's it.
You got, you got to, if you denature it, that's burn the hound out of it.
Yeah.
And then bury the ashes. And I have been, from the very get-go, and even before this, have been interested as a scientist in how that prion can move up and down the soil column.
Yeah.
Because, even though some work has been done elsewhere, our soils are unique.
That's it.
I don't know the answers to those things, and if I had another career to spend, I'd certainly
Well, I think, folks, if you have a chance sometime to go back in the archives of the Mid-South Hunting and Fishing News, Allan wrote a wonderful 3-part series on CWD that I think is the best I've read for his explanation and things along that line. I wish we had more time to do this, to talk more, Allan, but you and I are going to get together soon, and we'll hash it out over a meal. And I'm eating my venison, so if I pass away between now and then, I'm sorry I won't be able to take you to lunch. Okay, so.
I know, Larry, the initial stages for a deer is sort of like Alzheimer's. So if you get sick, how am I going to tell?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to tell. You know me well enough that it's hard to tell anything. So that's for sure. Hey, buddy, thank you, Allan Houston. Hope to see you soon, buddy. Okay.
Outstanding. We'll look at you when you get here and be looking forward to you.
Yeah, I'll try to wear sunglasses, all right? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Allan. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and we're going to talk fishing now. Get away from CWD and talk Major League Fishing. That's here on Outdoors with Larry Ray.